Michelle Donelan this morning was confronted while she was in Bristol doing an interview about human rights, which she found quite difficult. We'll get onto that one later. But she was confronted on the BBC by the interviewer asking, what do you think about the fact that Boris Johnson, I was about to say Boris nonsense, Boris Johnson has nominated his father for a knighthood? And there's a huge pause. In fact, there's a series of huge pauses on Miss Donelan's part. The problem really is that this government seems to think that the way to test new ministers is to put them into the Ministry of Digital Culture, Media and Arts, now just digital for Michelle Donelan, and see if they manage perfectly well there. If they do, then they get an advancement to a more senior ministry. The Ministry of Media and Arts is not taken seriously, in other words, which is a great shame. So we've had a series of completely incompetent ministers doing time there before moving on to other things. Mr. Hunt, Mr. Hancock, of all people, Nadine Dorries, who proved herself incapable of doing anything other than a quick passage to the House of Lords if Boris nods that one through as well, or if Rishi Sunak nods what Boris wants through. So Michelle Donelan eventually gives in and says, well, it's just rumour. I've read that as well, and there is an agreement that failing prime ministers, ex-prime ministers, can nominate people for honours of either party, and this is part of the convention. But we wait to see. It's been a very long time since Boris left now, and we still haven't had those nominations go through. And presumably, Liz Truss has her own nominations. That will make Michelle Donelan worry a bit, won't it? She doesn't seem to be very good in the headlights. Rees-Mogg, who is good in the headlights, proved to be almost as inchoate and speechless the other day. Now we've got the real thing, Michelle Donelan, like a rabbit caught in front of a speeding car.